life, things that are not going too well for you and your spouse, you and your significant other. That's what we're here to talk about. And today's topic, which I want you to participate in, I definitely want you to call in and tell me of your experiences, because I may talk about it from a psychological point of view. I may talk about it as a sexologist, but you're the one who actually going through with it, and it's happening to you. Infidelity and the impact that it has upon you, your family life, your home, your household, what is happening to you and yours. That's what we want to talk about tonight. And like I said, we need you to call in. We need you to WhatsApp at 299-4103. Again, that number is 299-4103. Send in your messages. Ask your questions. Tell us what's happening in your household. If you have, and I don't want it to be speculation. It must be something that is actually happening. And the reason for that is sometimes there are behaviors in your family with your significant other that you may think is infidelity, but it may be something else. It may be a deep-rooted problem. It may be something that has developed over a number of years, and you, in your interpretation of whatever is going on, you think it is infidelity. But if you know for a fact that because of infidelity, because of things that has happened in the past, confession by your spouse or others have given you the proof that this has happened, then that's what I want you to talk about. And I want you to let us know how it has impacted on you as a person, because of course it would have a physical, mental, psychological impact on you. Sometimes it even have a medical impact, because there are some persons who just lose it. They lose it because they don't expect these things to happen. They think that they're living a perfect life, and when they do find out that this is happening, they may feel sick. They may get ulcerated stomach. They may be stressed out. There's so many things that could happen to individuals, and I come across individuals who have situations like this, and they can't understand why their spouse will behave in a particular way, and it may be because of the way they're treated. I'm not making excuses for anyone, but I'm just saying this. It may be because it's the nature of the person to do that. It may be because the person is doing it for attention. Who knows why a person does something like that, but it's good to dissect it. It's good to have a program where you could actually vent whatever is happening to you, where you can call in and ask questions, because sometimes it may not be exactly what you're thinking. It may be something that is a bit different from what you think it is. Somebody's asking a question here on Facebook. For those of you on Facebook, you can go on my Facebook page and you will have an you can send your questions and things there. Also, good night, guys. The sex doll is to what is the law regard to that? Is the importer wrong? No, the importer is not wrong. Absolutely not. And Andy, you'll find out about that as time goes by. I can't make any pronouncement on that, because that is tied in together with what I am doing with customs, and there's a reason for things happening. Some of the things are happening in the background, and you can't really talk about it. Some of the things are there in the public eye, for the public purview, and information is spread in a particular way, and it's given to the public in a particular way. But just hold straight. Things are happening. I can tell you that you would be surprised at the result of it at the end of the day. But it's happening. So let's not go into that. As I said, once it's in the court system, you don't really make too many comments about it. Let what's happening happen. But let's get back to the point that we're talking about. This point of infidelity and whatever may be happening in your relationship or that you have encountered. Venting is a very important part of it also, because you need to say what has gone wrong, what are your thoughts on it. And nobody likes to take the blame for things, but sometimes you may contribute to whatever is happening to you and your family, your spouse, with your family, and you wondering, well, what did I do wrong? How did I go wrong? What could I have changed in my life to get things back to where it was? And sometimes you say, well, here, what? I don't mind that this has happened, and I want to continue my relationship. But of course, you don't forget these things because it's there. You would want to put it aside, but of course, you'll always have this suspicious look and this suspicious way of thinking about the person. And every time the person is late from work or whatever, you're wondering if they're doing something other than they're supposed to be doing. So that's basic human nature. You know, basic human nature is such a corrupt thing at times, because the way we think has to do with the way we were brought up, has to do with you know, your society. A lot of it is triggered by television. We live in a world that is so messed up now because of television. I know the ladies out there like to look at certain television stations, and sometimes my wife is looking at it, and I sit and I look at it, and I could, in none of the programs I ever see the man is right, or the man is doing something because the woman has done something wrong. It's always the man is bad, he has a family elsewhere, infidelity is because he's doing something totally wrong, and it's always like that. And that's not reality. Don't take what you see in television. Remember, these things are designed for a particular audience. It's designed to make money. It's designed in such a way that they grab their audience all the time. So the ladies who are looking at these particular stations and whatnot, they continuously do that. It's like the soap operas. Don't ever believe things that you see in a soap opera. Soap opera is just that. It's a soap opera. It's not real. There's nothing real in a soap opera. As a matter of fact, I remember once I sat down to look at a soap opera that used to be on the air many, many, many years ago, and I couldn't tell him exactly what's happening, because it's the same story over and over. And the person was like you're a real Adam fan? I said, no, you don't. I last time I saw this movie was 5-6 years ago. But you could pick up on the storyline. So, and they drag something on continuously for a very long period of time. But a lot of persons, they feel that's reality. They say, look at this person, what's happening to them? If he does this, this is what's going on. And I know on sometime on radio stations, I hear people talking, and they say, they're saying certain things that it's not right. They might tell you, well, if your husband is continuously coming home late, that is a sign. There are signs that you can look for, but if you look for the sign, you'll find it in any man. And that's where the problem is. If you look for the sign, you'll find those signs in any human being that it have out there, because they're just basic signs, but it may not be what you're thinking. So if you are thinking along the line because of certain things that are said to you, that these are the signs of infidelity, and well, forget the word infidelity, you're getting horn, as we say in Trinidad. My man horning me or my woman horning me. You're going to find it in anyone, so be very careful about those things. Well, of course, Let's Talk Sex is about talking about sex, and this program is all about you, the listening audience. It's for you to call in and ask your questions. It's for you to text your questions to me. You can text it directly to me, 7401961. You can send it via WhatsApp to 299-4103. You can also call that number to talk to us in the studio about anything related to sex, anything relating to your life, your relationship, things that you want to make better, because we're not here to condemn. We are here to fix. We are here to find a solution for you. We are here to make your relationship better. We are here to make you have a less stressful life, and not live in a world where too many things are affecting you mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically, and otherwise. So this is the forum for it. You can call in. We have something coming in on WhatsApp. Let's see.
Yes, good night, everyone. This person says, when my wife found out that I had an affair, it was a lot of stress and bacchanal. But when she tried to forgive and stayed... Alright, I'm not understanding the English grammar that appears to be coming here. But when she...
Just read it however they put it.
When I wouldn't say forgive, but stayed was level sex. More sex than usual. I even got the back door. Okay.
Well, back door is anal sex. Right. That's what the person means. But yes, some persons may reward you in a way that, you know, it's like, you ever had breakup sex? When you break up with someone and you make up, the makeup sex that comes with the breakup. When you have makeup sex, it's better than normal, because the person is trying to give as much of themselves to keep whatever they have, to keep you in check. So they will do anything you ever wanted to do. So yes, it could be rewarding, but again, it depends on the wife.
Now we have another person coming in here. My husband is always working late and making excuses.
Well, he may be working late to provide for the house. He might have a mortgage to pay. He might have responsibility that he... what are the excuses that I'm working late? That's not an excuse. That's a fact. And if you know for a fact that he's working late, that is not an excuse. It is stating a fact. I am working late. But if you're working late and making an excuse, well, I had to go all the way to Guayari and come back, but he didn't have to do that. Well, then that is excuses for working late. And that is something that is questionable. Why are you making excuses for working late?
Makes sense.
No need to do that. If you're working late, you're working late. It depends on the kind of job. There are some men like do labor work who don't work late. There are some men who do labor work and they work into the night because they want to make extra money. There are persons who work in the office and they're trying to make deadline. For example, this month might be tax month. So they're trying to get I'm not saying this month is tax month. This month may be tax month. It might be end of year for the company and they have to do stock check and all these things. So there are genuine reasons why a person will work late. Like my good friend here, I'm sure he come to work early, but he has to work late to facilitate this program. But then he doesn't say anything on the air, so his wife is not sure if he's here. So we could just be saying that he's here and he may not be here. So you see, you could end up in a lot of problems, because there's no proof that you're here. And we can't turn the camera on him, so we could be talking to a ghost on the back. I like having fun. I hope you don't mind. Or your spouse don't mind. And if someone should ask me, should I horn my partner? My answer is always yes. It's always yes. But there's a reason for my yes. Are you prepared to stand the circumstances of your infidelity? And if you know the circumstances of your infidelity is death, and you're willing to accept that, go ahead, by all means.
It's your choice. Play
Russian roulette with your life and go ahead and do it. If you know the rewards of doing that may be better sex, by all means. But if you know the person is going to punish you in some way or the other, you will know your partner. So you have to be careful about what you're going to do and how you go about doing it. But everyone has it inside of them. There are persons, sometimes you ask a person, do you like porn? And they'll tell you, no, I would never look at that. And that's nasty and whatnot. They use all these disparaging words. They use all these words to make it look as though you are doing something really wrong. And if they get an opportunity, they look at it.
Probably longer than you.
It's probably looking at more than me. Who knows? But it's because they try to put a defense for whatever they're doing, and they're hoping that when they put a defense, it will make them look good. Somebody asked, why horn? There are many reasons for that, and that's a good question. Why horn? Infidelity has been there since time immemorial. Infidelity has been there since marriage started. If you read the Ramayana, you'll see where persons were casting aspersion on Sita for being held captive for so many years or for that period of time, and Ram had to banish her for that. So it's not something that is new. So if you look at all the ancient stories and whatnot, you'll realize that once there was persons getting married, there was the incidence of infidelity. Now, infidelity, some persons may ask, what is infidelity? I have known women who, living at home, never step outside of their home, but they're in love with somebody else. They communicate, and I'll tell you something, in this day and age with mass communication and easy communication, you could be getting horn on your own bed and you even know. Your partner could be texting or sexting someone or masturbating while doing that. There are many ways of doing it. Some persons will say, is infidelity sexual intercourse? And no, it's not. It could be deeper than that, because if you're living with someone who no longer loves you but loves someone else, then you're spinning top in mud.
And we have another question here. Sorry to interrupt. What causes your womb to be low, and can that cause you to not be pregnant or not get pregnant? Well,
some persons have a strain. If you lift something badly, a womb could drop. Some women naturally have a low womb, and they may have to have it massaged and tied in a particular way. There are midwives who just do that, and don't think that it's old people thing. It is a real thing. And if the womb is sitting too low in the pelvic area, it prevents you from carrying a pregnancy. That's as simple as it gets.
And this lady says that her husband is only working 7 days a week. He always tells me harsh things and insults me. He's moving guilty. We've been married 23 years now, but I think he's hiding something.
He's only working 7 days a week. How much days you want him to work? 9 days a week? I can't understand that first part. If he's working 7 days a week, he must have a reason for working 7 days a week. There are some guys who work 14 days on, 14 days off. I don't know the circumstances for working. But if you suspect that your partner is moving guilty, there must be a reason for that. It may be infidelity, it may be something else. Maybe he's trying to accumulate enough money to buy a house for you, to buy a gift for you. I don't know. And there are many reasons people do things. So don't just... The quickest and easiest thing to do is to blame someone for infidelity based on whatever they're doing. But it may not be that. It may be something totally different. Don't listen to your friend. And the worst person to take advice from is someone who has gone through a divorce or gone through something like that. Never ask a single person for advice on your marriage. Never. And never ask a person who has failed in their marriage for advice on your marriage. They want you to fail just as they have failed. Always remember that. If you have a friend who's a divorcee, don't ask her for any advice. Don't ask him for any advice. You will not get the answer that is correct. They will give you an answer based on their emotions and based on their experiences, and it will not be to your best interest. So be very careful about that. There are many individuals who go out there to pretending they're expert in the field of life and love and sex and marriage and all those things. And when you ask them, are you married? Yes, sir, this is my third marriage. How could you tell me that you have success in marriage? You're not qualified for that. And again, like I always tell people, I always use myself as an example because I am a living example of everything that I say and do. My question is, why do the mind thinks we are only supposed to be with one person our entire lifetime? That's another good question. That's an excellent question. And sometimes a person will ask the question, can a man love a woman, love more than one woman at the same time? Can a woman love more than one man at the same time? And the answer is yes. When you put limitations on your brain, it's because you are limited. Always remember that. The limitations we put on our brain is because we are limited in our way of thinking. We are limited in our behavior. We are limited in our education. We are limited. If you think that the brain is only capable of loving one person at the same time or throughout one's lifetime, you are wrong, totally wrong. Because if you have two children, can you tell me which one you love more than the other? Today you might love him more than her. Tomorrow you might love her more than him. But you know you have same love for both of them. If you have siblings, the very same thing. Now there are things that the person may do to cause you to not like them, but the love is still there. And the very same thing happens with you meeting someone, seeing someone, getting involved in a relationship with someone, and wondering if I am in love with this person, I cannot love someone else. But the brain is capable of loving many persons at the same time. Sometimes the love you have for your religion is much deeper than the love that you have for your fellow man. Although it's supposed to be equal, and or sometimes the love for your fellow man should equate what your love you have for religion, because that is part of religion. But let's not go there. Let's deal with the love that you have for one person. You think that I should only have love for one person. I should only love one person, and that's it. I have to stick with that for the rest of my life. Thing changes. Things in your life changes all the time. The only constant in life is change. Always remember that. Things change. It comes along and you have to embrace it and you have to live with it. Somebody asked the question, did Sita get kidnapped or did she run away? That's a deeper story, but it has to do with it. She was kidnapped, but you have to understand the Maya part of it. If you're a non-Hindu, you will never understand that. As a matter of fact, you'll use that to condemn Hinduism, but then again, it shows how shallow the person's mind may be. So that's a different thing. I'm not going to get into that because the philosophy of that may be too high for some people. She says she still loves her ex. Well, nothing wrong with that. You could still love your ex, but you may not. You could love someone and not be able to live with the person, you know. That's another thing. There are persons who love their parents, but they can't live with their parents. They can't stand being near their parents because of different reasons, whatever it may be. There are persons who may be in love with their present partner and they always remember the first love that they had, or a boyfriend that they had, or a girlfriend that they had. Love is a dynamic thing. I agree, experiencing that firsthand. I wonder what you're experiencing, my dear. Let us know. Hi, Doc. What's the number to call in? The number is 299-4103. 299-4103. That's the number to call in. And for that person who sent that message, you have to tell us what you're experiencing. I don't know. You know, I'm going on, so I'm not too sure what part of the program I was at when you said that. So, nice program, Chanmati here. So, again, those of you who want to call in, 299-4103. Those of you who want to send your WhatsApp message, 299-4103 or 740-1963. For those of you who are on the Facebook account, my Facebook account, you can send your messages there directly. I'll try my best to get it. Sherry says, hi, good night. Marcy is on. Philip, my good friend Philip over in England, he's on. My Auntie Doolin is on. Usha, my sister, is on. It's a family affair. My sister and I was having some good kicks with that yesterday. Very same topic. So, you know, infidelity is also something that a person conjures up in their mind about their partner, and they run with it. Because sometimes a person like feeling sorry for themselves. They like being the victim. There's some persons who love being the victim, you know. They love being the victim because they want people to console them and they want to feel good about themselves, so other people will be telling them stuff and whatnot. So be very careful about that. If someone is on medication for clogged arteries, could affect his sex life? Of course it does. Definitely does. Marie. Raj, why customs take the man's sex doll? Is that legal? Well, we dealt with that at the beginning of the program. We cannot get into that again. But why don't you call customs and ask them that? I know the reason why. I've dealt with it many times, but remember this matter is in court, so we cannot really talk about it on the air. If you don't want me to get charged, be careful what you ask. But if you have, honestly, if you have an issue with it, why don't you call customs and ask them why? And tell them that it's wrong. We have power, you know. People don't realize the power that we have, you know. If one person could change the world with his voice, with the things that he have said, the things that he have done, why can't we as a group of individuals change us one rule, not a law, a rule, or change things in our society? Why can't we do that? It's just that we can't come together. We don't know the avenues by which to do it. But I'll tell you something, I have had customs in court many times and I continue to do so, and we have things that are happening. So, that's for another time.
Alright, and this listener is asking Dr. Raj, if your wife was sexually active with another person, would that be deemed infidelity as well?
If your wife...
I think he's asking if he's considering if your wife horns you.
Me?
Yeah.
No.
I think that's what he's asking.
No. If my wife wants to, that she know what she could do.
As simple as that.
We have discussed that many times. I have no problem with that. I'm not fickle-minded, you know. And I know, you see, based on my training and based on who I am, I know what I will accept and what I wouldn't accept. And we have discussed those things and we have made it very clear, and I have no problem with that.
There you go.
It all depends on the individual. Yeah. No, not everybody could handle that. Having different partners tends to change your period. Not really. Then a prostitute could never do her job because her period will be changing all the time. I don't know where people get these things, you know. They say when you're horning, your period has changed. So when a prostitute has about 10 men per day for 25 days in the month, her period changes. I mean, these are logical things to think about. Why don't we think logically? So if you think that your husband is or your wife is cheating on you because her period has changed, no, my friend, no.
And we have another question here. My partner thinks that I like sex too much, but does it mean he doesn't like it?
Well, it depends on what you mean by too much. Some men are incapable of having sex regularly for whatever reason. It may be because of andropause, and andropause is when a man cannot get an erection properly. He has no interest in sex and whatnot. It may be because he is incapable of keeping up with the sexual wants of his partner because of incompatibility. So you have to answer me and tell me what you mean by too much. Too much for you might be too little for another person. So that's what I need to know. When your spouse brings up your past all the time over and over and expect to have sex after all the argument, after it has broken the zeal for sex, how could it be restored? It has broken off completely, no feeling at all, mental and emotionally departed. Of course it will. If you are constantly accusing somebody or reminding them of their past, and they want to put that aside, I think, today I was telling someone about this, if you meet somebody today and they're 25 years of age, you think that person is a virgin as of today? Whether they're a virgin as far as intercourse is concerned is not important, They may have had experiences. For example, they may have had a boyfriend or a girlfriend. That's their past. Why are you bringing that baggage into the present here now? You're trying to create something. So if you're married to someone and they have a sexual past, why bring it up? You only putting pressure on yourself because what you're going to do, compare? I wonder if he was better than me. That is only being foolish. And yes, if you are mentally detached from the person, if that person has done and said things to you that are hurtful and has caused you to pull away from the love or take away that love that you have for the person, you could never have sex the same way again. You may just simply do it. You would do it to satisfy the needs of the individual or the wants of the individual, but you're not really into it. So that person has done a disservice to themselves. So let's see if someone has diabetes, what can you use? Come to the Adult Therapy Center for that. We deal with that. That was a pretty sex doll. Sex dolls are very pretty, They're much prettier than some women we have out there. But again, it's a doll. You can design your sex doll. As a matter of fact, when I walked into the studio at another radio station today, because they invited me to come and talk about the sex doll, which I did, and I went to the sister studio. My friend turned to me and he said, "Raj, did they seize my doll?" I said, "No, you're safe." And this is Asia Carrera. He wants a sex doll that looks like Asia Carrera, and it's made for him exactly in the form of Asia Carrera. All the body parts are exactly the same. As a matter of fact, they got a mole of a vagina and anus, and they did it for him.
Fantastic.
And he's paying the money for it. It's very expensive. So
that's the cost of love. It's worth it.
It's not. I wouldn't equate it with love. There are some persons who are afraid to go and talk to women, or there are some guys who are afraid of STDs and STI. And if they want to have a doll to make love to and have sex with, why not? Why not? They prefer to do that than to go and find themselves in problems. Okay, for those of you who want to call in, that number again is 2994103. 2994103. For those of you who want to send your messages, remember it's 2994103 also, and also 7401961. 7401961. Any ailments and whatnot that you may have that is hampering your sex life, hampering your relationship, we deal with that at the Adult Therapy Center. Tomorrow I will be in Debe. For those of you who want to visit the Debe location, I'll be there from 11 o'clock. Seeing patients from 11. I may be there earlier, but I'm not seeing patients until 11 o'clock. And that number there is 366-5843. 366-5843, and anyone who was monitoring it to know if we were really talking to somebody behind the console, you'll see we just shook our head because something was shown to us. And we're not doing it with a ghost.
Oh, and we have another question here. My husband loves sex. He takes too long to discharge. Is that normal?
Well, some guys have learned to control it. If he's taking a pill for that, that's a no-no, because the pills that you take for that are drugs that are used to treat people with mental illnesses, so you have to be very careful about that. But if he has the ability to last long, you should know how to make him ejaculate. He should teach you how to make him ejaculate, because once you teach your spouse or your partner what it is to trigger you, she could trigger you off very easily. So you share it? Pulling bottle and thing, boy.
so.
Way. Or find us a drink, boy. That's all right. Good evening,
Well,
Doctor. Here, locked on from Grandy, my old hometown. I tell everybody I'm a Grandy boy, and I'm proud of the fact that I born and grew up in Sangre Grande. It's very near and dear to my heart. So we call ourselves Grandy boys.
well, Dr. Raj, I mean, I have a drink too. So.
Well, I have nothing. I don't think I right now I suck in salt, but that's all right.
Oh, we have some nice messages coming in.
Nice messages. Oh, well, I like when you use the word nice. You mean nice people sending messages?
Fantastic.
Because I know we have some beautiful women out there, especially.
We sure do.
I must say the 103 women out there that's really blow my mind.
We have Miss Cora saying good night,
Miss
Dr.
who?
Raj.
Cora?
Miss Cora. She's enjoying the program.
Right. Is she inviting us to come up, Cora?
I hope so.
Well,
Yeah,
right,
we can
yes.
bother
I'm a river. I like a river line too bad. Eh?
Another listener is asking, once a cheater, always a cheater?
No. The persons change. Persons have the ability to change once they want to change. If they don't want to change, they're not going to change. So if someone has made a mistake, I don't think infidelity is a mistake. I think infidelity is a course that the person is going through in life and a deviation, but it's not a mistake. And I hate when people do something and they turn around and say, well, that was a mistake. I should never have done that. No, getting caught was a mistake. If you have done something like that, why have regrets? I have no regrets in life. I don't subscribe to that, because I think that everyone does what they're supposed to do in life. Things happen, so you pay the price for it. That's all.
Sounds great. Good night, Dr. Raj. My husband cheated on me and I stayed away from being with him intimately for 2 years. I could not see myself being with him. We were in the same house but slept on the couch and the bed with my 4-year-old baby. After 2 years, I started back having sex with him last July. I still can't believe he and the other woman ever broke up. So I think she thinks that the husband is still...
Yeah, but she's punishing herself.
Mm-hmm.
She's not punishing him. She is mentally punishing herself. So when you do something like that, what you are doing at the end of the day, you are actually creating a situation where you are suffering, your partner is suffering, yes, to a point, but if you think that he's still with the person, you are not doing the things to bring your partner back. It's like starting all over. If you don't have it in you, go your separate way. Go your separate way if you don't have it in you. Could you pull that chair there, because that so when these things happen, right on to the side of you. What do you mean where I want to the side of you, sir?
Oh, come in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So when these things happen and you punish yourself by doing these things, making yourself uncomfortable, sleeping away from your partner, causing stress to yourself and whatever else, I don't think that's a healthy thing to do. If in a situation that you think that you cannot have reconciliation and whatnot, move on.
Wow, we have a lot of messages coming in here. I've been married with my husband for 21 years, and just a month ago he stopped calling me single when we were together. I always have to give him money. Do you think he even cared for me?
I don't understand that. He stopped calling me single.
Yes,
What used to call it single? Single like dollars?
I guess so.
I don't know what singles mean. Again, if you don't...
I think she's single. She's saying she's single
Since
now.
she's single,
Yeah.
there's no what?
He's been calling and asking for money. Yeah. That appears to be what is happening.
Oh. Where you going? You!
Me? Oh,
Lord, boy.
oops. Sorry, guys.
Whoops is right. Well, I have one of my angels with me here. It's not the program for it, but she's here to give us a little insight about infidelity. Fill us in. We're discussing infidelity, so whenever she's ready, she'll just jump in. But
Great. Oh,
let's
we have
get
a lot of
back to
messages coming in,
hmm?
We have a lot of messages coming in.
Yeah, but again,
You want?
we have a lot of messages. For some reason, I have messages upon messages coming in. Mira, you
great,
should
yeah.
have known that. Well, I gave the number again to call. It's 299-4103. Please call that number, 299-4103. Person says, being capable of loving two persons at the same time.
Dr.
Do you agree with
I
that?
think we have a call.
Loving two persons at the same time? We have a call? Let's take the call.
We have a call.
No, that call, we dropped that call. Do we believe in loving two persons at the same time? I think you could take guess. This one here, she could take guess 3. Operator. And this person says yes, being able to love two persons at the same time. I notice a lot of calling back. Let's take it.
Back, yeah?
Yes.
Hello, caller.
Hello. Hello. They call him back, but they don't answer. They're afraid. That's when the wife walk in, you know, or the husband walk in, you know. Person is just get silent and they put the phone behind them and they do all kind of monkey tricks and whatnot. Yes, so do you believe a person can love more than one? Well, from a woman's point of view.
Yes, it is possible to love.
Have you ever loved more than one person at the same time? Let's put you on the spot.
We're getting personal here.
No, that's not getting personal. That's putting somebody on the spot. Have you ever done that? Because I have. I confess I have. So
I can't say I've been in that situation to love more than one person at the same time, but it is very much possible to love more than one person at the same time.
the experience will be good for you. I notice a lot of couples these days seem to be insecure in their relationship. How can a person combat insecurity? Insecurity sometimes comes from the behavior of the individual. Insecurity has to do with your past, has to do with the things that you hear. I believe you could combat insecurity simply by just letting things happen. Life goes on. Talk with your spouse. Have a good line of communication. If things are not to your spouse's liking, they will tell you, and you tell them how you feel about things. Hello, good evening. Yes, good evening. Ooh. Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Evening.
I'm good.
How can we help you?
I'm listening to your program from Princess Station 103.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I want my husband want to talk to you a little bit, please.
Okay, go ahead. It's a 1 hour program, so don't eat up too much time. Good evening. Mm-hmm. Well, wanting to have sex and the ability to have sex is two different things. That's the first thing. Maybe some women are not satisfied by the sex that they're having, so they switch off from their partner. There may be reasons for she not wanting to have sex. For example, if you're incapable of lasting very long sexually, that may give you the feelings to want to have sex regularly, but you're incapable of going the distance to satisfy your partner. So you have to have a discussion with your wife to find out why it is. I wouldn't have the answer for you unless I speak to her personally and she tells me exactly what it is. And sometimes your wife may not want to tell you the reasons, but because they don't want to hurt you. All right, if she's going through menopause, she will not feel to have sex. That's one of the symptoms of menopause. So you have to understand that also. So you have to come to an accommodation with her that maybe have sex once a week. Maybe she can help you to masturbate or something like that and move on. Okay?
Thank you very much.
No problem.
And we have another listener here. I am 54 years old. My madam is 47. We have sex once a month. Is there anything you can do to spice up our sex life?
There are many things I could do to spice up your sex life, but I have to know the reasons why she only want to have sex once a month, or you only want to have sex once a month. If it's a medical issue, we treat that at the Adult Therapy Center, together with Prashant, Dr. Maharaj, and myself. There are many things that we can do. If it is because the person is going through menopause, there are things that we can do. There are things that could be introduced to the individual. There are tablets, supplements that you can take to build back your sex drive. There are things that you could do to spice up your sex life. There are toys that you can. There are many things that you can do. Sex shouldn't die in your relationship, unless, of course, it's psychologically dead. When there's no reason for wanting to be with your partner, then there is no reason to want to have sex.
That's true.
So if you don't want to have sex, you can't take no pill for that. The only thing after that is separation, or whether sometimes you're married but you're separated. There are many individuals out there who are married but separated. They sleep in 2 different beds and whatnot. They don't want to have anything physical with one another because they have lost interest in each other. Those are the things that could happen. So
Sounds about right. Another one of our listeners, the same one who suspected her husband of cheating on her, she says that sometimes he's just tired and he only wants to have sex like every 10 to 14 days, and people in the neighborhood are talking about it.
wait.
Yes.
Read that again.
Yes.
Read that.
People in the neighborhood says he is still with her, but I don't have proof. The baby is sleeping in our bed currently. I'm working on putting her in her own room. But sex with me is a quickie, and he doesn't take time to make love. So that's how she feels.
All right. If your partner is not taking time to make love with you, psychologically you're going to be turned off from that person because they're not satisfying you. Lots of time we blame the woman because we are incapable of doing the things that we're supposed to do to make the person feel good. But it may be our fault. Check yourself. Have conversation. Come to the Adult Therapy Center and do a counseling session. You know what people I have to teach how to make love? They feel making love is a quickie. Making love is not a quickie.
Not a quickie, definitely not.
How you know that? It's go longer than a quickie for you? I'm asking. I'm not too sure. I want to make sure because the listeners out there is asking that, I wonder if she really does that.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, a quickie for me is like 45 minutes. So,
that's in my ballpark. So I think there's compatibility there.
And
I don't like this thing called quickie.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a...
That should pop up maybe once in a blue moon. But a quickie is not something that is very satisfying.
regular, yeah.
No.
It should
That's,
happen just when the adrenaline kicks in and you in some place new and you take a little chance, yeah. But that I really is something.
depends on where you're taking the chance. You don't want to be caught. So let's hear what else we have there, Prashant.
Yes. This listener has been dating a married man for 21 years.
That's
But
very
she
common
has
in
to-
Trinidad.
Yeah, she has to constantly give him money, but she thinks that he never really cared for her. I'm guessing she wants our opinion on that matter.
Love is an integral part of a relationship. Sex is the cement that binds the relationship together. You have to find the mix that works for you. If you cannot find the mix that works for you, there are some persons who are in a marriage simply because of the children. What the children go say if we break up? That's what they go say. But forget that. You have to think about your happiness. It's only you could contribute to your happiness, Others can help you along with it, but it's you have to find your happiness in life. Nobody come here to be sad. Nobody come into this life to live a miserable life. So why accept that? Move on with your life and enjoy the things that you need to enjoy.
Totally agree. This listener says, since the Veni woman touched down in a big way, all these local women are real insecure. Because apparently these Veni women doing 10 times more than the locals.
And I agree with that. Because they want to hook our men and they want to make sure that they hook the men in such a way that they wouldn't leave them. And the only asset they have is their body.
Their bodies, yeah.
Agreed.
So they keep their body looking good. They wear the best of the best. They make the man spend money on that. And that's what they do. And if the Trini women don't want to take care of themselves and don't look good and don't want to compete, fine, just lay by and let the guys take over, let the venues take over, because that is what is happening. And I make no apologies for saying that. I find the women of our country should get up and start working out, start watching your diet, start looking good, because we have beautiful women in the country. Don't let yourself go and resign to the fact that, oh, these young venues come in here. They come in here to take you, man. That is their job.
Yeah, but it actually had somebody with a billboard stating that. They said in Venezuela they're being killed by the Trini men taking care of them. So yeah, they're down here to stay.
Because it is they're coming here, they have nothing. And we getting the dregs. We are not getting the best of that society. We are getting the dregs. If you don't believe me, for those of you who have ever been to Venezuela, you'll see where they live. They live worse than people who live in Trinidad, in the worst part of Trinidad. And that's a fact. So we get the dregs here. But they come here with one intention and one intention only. If a family has 3 or 4 daughters, they take the best one and say, you go to Trinidad. Grab a man. Make sure he send money.
Yeah.
And that is what they do. It's a job.
End up minding a whole family back in Venezuela.
Not me.
And I think that sign you were talking about, Angel, was during Juve. They were posting
Yes.
that around, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it is a fact. They come here for a reason. Why would you be fed up of Trini men? If you are fed up of Trini men, it's because maybe they're not living up to your standard. Maybe you are expecting too much or too little. I don't know. Sometimes women make comments and they may not be in a situation for things that... Sometimes the man you hook up with is... You have done something wrong to hook up with that man. There are many women out there who get pregnant and they feel getting pregnant is the answer to be with someone. And they use that as the excuse to hold on to the man, but it's the wrong man. And afterwards, they find the right man, but there's nothing that they can do. And that's happening. We make bad mistakes. And I come back to that one thing which I had to tell a client that today. We condemn the older folks, our parents and grandparents, when they find somebody for us. They say, we don't want no matchmaking thing. But we like matchmaking on social media.
Social media, yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's it.
my family will know your family. They know who went to jail, who was in the madhouse. If anybody do something wrong, they know all them things. So they tell you, see that family, they know good. Stay away from them. They know the history, they know the background. But we tell ourselves, now we know better than the older folks, and they may know nothing. But let's deal with reality. We have to deal with the fact that sometimes we make the wrong choice in life. And there are many young ladies out there who make the wrong choice in life. They get pregnant when they shouldn't get pregnant. They haven't lived their life yet. But they decide that I am going to stick up with a man, and that man will take care of me for the rest of his life. But I'll tell you something about men who hook up with young girls. As soon as you cross the age of he liking young girls, he looking for a young girl, eh?
Exactly.
You are going to be replaced by a young girl. Always remember that, eh? And a lot of young girls don't know that.
Wow, imagine that. All our viewers on Facebook, make sure and hit that heart button as well.
Yeah.
Let's get some hearts
This
coming.
Prashant like this heart thing and this joke thing and whatnot.
Yes, I know we're having a fantastic conversation. All our listeners are enjoying it. If you'd like to send in your questions on WhatsApp as well too, the number is 299-4103. That's 299-4103 if you'd like to send in your questions. And you could call in as well too. Don't forget that number, 299-4103. Yes, doctor.
Yes. So if you make a mistake in life, don't judge everybody else based on that. Don't judge situation based on that. We have women come into this country for one reason and one reason only, to suck the living lifeblood out of men and the money and destroy family. That's why I talk about infidelity and what it's doing to your family. These girls, if they have to lie with you whole night to get $100, $100 is plenty money in their country, you know. They will lie with you whole night, touch you in places that your wife wouldn't touch you, just to get that $100 bill. After they get a $100 bill, they care about you. They do it for the money.
Totally agreed.
So they will do anything to get it.
Now we have one
where's
message
this
from
long
a
one,
listener.
Debbie?
Yeah. I'm a 45-year-old woman who has an 18-year-old daughter, and through a natural childbirth, I get my period every month, and I'm not overweight. I'm much younger than my age. Okay. I have asked my doctor if I am at premenopause age and was told no. Can I still get pregnant, or is it too late? Would like to know what my chances are. She's 45 now.
She's still having a regular period.
It
That
appears
is
so, yeah. Every month, yeah.
every month.
Mm-hmm.
You can still get pregnant, but it's not advisable at that age. It's as simple as that. But there are women who go through menopause at a very early age, and there are women who go through menopause at a very late stage because of the fact that you are born with a number of eggs, and those eggs are released monthly for a certain period of your life. And that's as easy as I can put it.
So it's a tricky situation. We won't advise it, but you know, it's your life. Yeah. For our Facebook listeners, don't forget to hit that heart button. You know I love that all the time. And make sure and give us a share as well too. We have approximately 10 more minutes, so make sure and send in your questions 299-4103.
Yes, we have. Yes, let's take that call. Hello? Go on. Hello? Yes? Hi? Thank you. Well, that's what we're here for, to teach you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Looking good. There's nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. Well, what's wrong with that? Aren't you dressing and looking good for that? But yes, of course. When a woman puts on an outfit, it's to be noticed, you know. I am sure Wicked Angel didn't dress like that tonight not to be noticed. Right? You dress in a particular way to be noticed. And I know for a fact that if a woman puts on an outfit and nobody will look at her, she'll put on that outfit again.
Exactly. You actually feel uncomfortable.
You feel uncomfortable.
Yourself as okay.
Right. We have a lady actually confirming what I say. So, if you are attracting others, nothing wrong with that. It's what you do after the attraction, you know.
Exactly.
What you do after the attraction is what makes it right or wrong.
The follow-up plan.
The follow-up plans.
And we have a listener here asking for the number to make an appointment. It's 645-4543. That's 645-4543. Another listener would just like to know if we can actually help her to get pregnant.
Yes, we do that at the Adult Therapy Center all the time. For those of you who want to make an appointment for debate tomorrow, you can call that 645-4543 number tonight. There's somebody there until 11 o'clock tonight. Or you can call 366-5843, 366-5843. Do not make an appointment with me. I will give you a wrong time, a wrong date, a wrong everything. I have staff for that.
And this listener, she says that she's 45 years old, but she wants to know what to expect in pre-menopause.
Changes in your body, changes in the way you feel, hot flashes, cold feeling, chills. The first part of it is not having a period for 1 year, and then things start to change in your body. You don't have the sex drive that you used to have. But I'll tell you something, when you have gone through menopause, it's liberating for most women because they know they could have sex without getting pregnant. The only problem that they have is the thinning of the vaginal walls, where you have to use a lubricant because you have to be careful of tearing or causing scar tissue to form in the vaginal walls. But other than that, it's a very liberating thing because you know you have gone through this period where you no longer is going to have a period, a monthly period, and you can have sex freely and enjoy life much differently.
So burden of
that burden and
you know,
of wondering if I'll get pregnant or thinking that I'll get pregnant and whatnot is no longer there.
fantastic. fantastic. And I see the hearts are coming in as well too.
Were you
Thank
seeing
so
hearts?
much. It went already. It went already.
I have not seen a single heart, so don't try to fool
Just
me.
wait.
But
It's alright.
I don't think it's just the fact of no longer seeing a period, but it's also the fact that you can have sex anytime you want because you no longer have to wait for that 5
Oh yes,
7
that
days.
that clean time and all that. Yes, yes,
so
yes.
sweet
Yeah.
and- yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah, look at hearts. Thank you very much. Why there's so much love again, boy?
Yes, thank you so much to our Facebook.
I wonder who giving me all that love, boy. I think I know that person. Well, I can't make out crap, you know. I'm fooling myself anyway. I'm fooling myself. Sorry about that. It's just one of those things, you know. Sometimes the ego does get in the way.
And one of our listeners is asking, at the age of 40, should men begin doing prostate tests?
Of course.
I would recommend earlier than that though. Age
No,
35.
40 is a good time. If you're in your 30s, you can do one test every maybe 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah.
If you're in your 40s, a test every 2 years. In your 50, a test every year. And the digital test is the best
That's
test.
the PSA. PSA.
No, the digital.
Digital? You prefer that?
Finger inside your anus. It's the best.
Alright. Yes, yes, yes.
The PSA will say one thing. The PSA will say one thing, and a digital examination is a different
Oh,
thing.
yes, digital is more thorough.
Right. Digital is more thorough, or you can have a ultrasound done.
We have some listeners saying, nice program, thank you so much, giving us a thumbs up as well too. Great.
Oh, we're here. Oh.
Oh, both places, I guess.
Put those thumbs up, and I see Jennifer is on and Anita. We have some.
Look, you see the hearts coming in, man.
I love the and the thumbs up too. Whoa, 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 whoa! I wonder who give. I would like to know who giving us all that, you know. So at the end of the day, I could go back and relax and say, oh. But I do go back after the program to look at those of you who have left messages on the Facebook. Those of you who sent something on WhatsApp, and if I missed it for whatever reason, I do respond because it's my responsibility to do that. I give out my number freely. My number is 7401961. I know a lot of you don't believe that, but it is my number. And I try my best to answer every single question or to like your comments and whatnot because that's what we do.
It is. I text him and he responds. Not the quickest, but he does respond.
No, I respond when I have the time.
Exactly.
So you got to understand that. I'm not going to stop seeing a patient to respond to someone. You have to understand that. They pay for my time.
Agreed.
And when I get home, sometimes I need to relax,
yes.
and then pick up the phone
family
and
time
say,
as well too, yeah.
right? So
So
but
we're
I do
getting-
respond.
We're getting hearts on the WhatsApp and on Facebook as well too. Thank you so much to our listeners.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure and give us more. Spam that heart button if you can. And we have.
Prashant have this thing about
hearts.
hearts and thumbs up and laugh and whatnot.
Yeah,
Make Prashant happy. For whatever reason, make him happy.
please do.
Okay. In many ways.
And we're getting a whole bunch on.
Wait, we're getting hearts on WhatsApp
hearts
too,
on
eh?
WhatsApp too. Yeah.
Annie, is that
Hearts,
Annie?
hearts.
Annie, give us some hearts on Facebook. And for those of you who want to connect with me on Facebook, it's my full name, Giriraj Ganesh Ramnanan.
We're getting hearts and thumbs up on WhatsApp and Facebook.
We have 1 more minute for those of you who want to call in, those of you who want to send your comments quickly, or those of you who want to ask a question. We have just 1 more minute, and our director, we have to call him director, who doesn't
Ghost
say
director.
much, doesn't say much, as it's going to give us a countdown in a while. But so before we get to the countdown, I have to thank you very much, Wicked Angel, for being here. I haven't seen you for such a long time, but I hope.
Anything else you want to say,
It's
Mr.
always
Mitchell?
a pleasure to be here.
I thought it was a pleasure just to see me. But so hopefully we'll have you again here, and we'll have a regular feature of, it's good to have the entertainment part going, but the information is very important. We are here to entertain you. We are here to give you that information. Those of you who have questions, those of you who want to visit the Adult Therapy Center, you know the number 645-4543. Those of you who want to see me in Daybay, 366-5843. Know that I'll be there tomorrow from 11 onwards until about 4. So that's how you connect with me. And that's a wrap. Good night.
Radiating musical happiness. This is Amal with the